Hey y'all, welcome back to Colored Couch Conversations, a podcast where I have intimate conversations with women of color on my couch. Today, my guest and I will discuss YouTube and good food. I'm your host, Jasmine W., and my guest today is a food and cultural influencer based in the great city of Dallas, Texas. She has a huge following on all platforms, okay? So subscribe to her YouTube channel, follow her on TikTok, follow her on Instagram at ToshPointFro. Welcome, my guest, Natasha. Hey, girl.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
I'm very excited to have you. Okay, so if y'all don't know ToshPointFro, she is a foodie, basically. She eats out. We see her eat out on her social media. We see her cook her own food and do mukbangs, which I did not realize that you cooked your own food until I read your bio on your website.
I hate it. I hate it. I don't want to cook. And I always get weird men writing me in DMs talking about, we should cook together. No, sir, you should cook for me.
Okay.
And smile. Thank you.
I cannot believe that you cook all of your own stuff and everything looks like it came from a restaurant. So tell me a little bit about how you started doing online mukbangs and online just like food stuff.
It's a crazy story because I fell into this, and that's why I really believe that like God leads you where you need to be. Yeah. So I started doing hair videos and like, natural hair thing. I'm at the end of the wave where there's already really popular influencers and the market is already oversaturated. Yeah. And like I would visibly shake even making videos. I mean, girl, it was a tragedy. Yeah, it was a tragedy. So a girlfriend of mine was like, why don't you try doing mukbang? And I was like, what is that? And she was like, just type in mukbang and then put in like a food that you like. And I found this guy, I remember his name is Jasper Davis, and he was sitting there eating some crab legs. And honey, I love crab legs.
What black girl don't love crab legs?
Thank you. Go to buffet, throwing down. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that looks weird, but I'm getting hungry. So I'll try it because it was gonna help me get over like that little bit of stage fright.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I started a separate channel and I just started doing it secretly. And I would just put up videos. And there was like this 2-week lapse that I didn't put up videos. And I came back to my channel and I had 5,000 followers. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing it. And this is a time where I was married. My husband was on deployment because I was married to somebody in the Navy in San Diego. Okay. So I didn't have anything else to do to fill my time anyway, besides just go to work. So I was like, okay, let me actually continue to do this. And it just kept growing. And now, I mean, I really still can't believe that I have the job that I have. It's a blessing to be able to just eat. And that's what people come to you for.
Wow. And so on YouTube specifically, now you have over what, like 330,000 subscribers, right?
382.
382.
I just got to 382,000.
And on TikTok, you have over 1 million.
That happened like last week. I was crying on the couch crying.
That's crazy. And on TikTok, one of the reasons I got on there is because I was like, oh, I heard it's easy to grow on here. Not easy if you have good content, right? So yeah, congratulations on.
Congrats to you, because honey, I see you on TikTok.
Girl, it'd be rough too. I'm like, what? I need to grow my following to 1 million. I'm like, you know what? I got out of the creator program because I was like, this is stifling my growth. So, but now I'm starting to grow again, so I'm happy. Okay, cool. Well, okay, y'all know. Before we get into it, because me and Natasha know each other. Okay, we should let y'all know that Natasha and I have known each other since we met in middle school, right?
We're not gonna say how old we are now, but it's been a while.
We 20 something. Mind your business.
Early 20s. They were,
No, but yeah, we met in middle school and everything. But you went to a different high school at some point, right?
I moved away from Dallas. My parents moved us back to Nebraska, so I ended up going to like an all-girls Catholic school in Nebraska. Yeah, girl, college prep girl.
Oh my gosh. I remember when Natasha said she was from Nebraska when I first met her. I was like, do they got black people in Nebraska?
Everybody does that. And guess what? Kool-Aid was invented in Nebraska. So boom.
But hold on, Kool-Aid was invented by white people, wasn't it?
We like Kool-Aid. Why you gotta, come on, give me my thing. We have, what else? Bud
That's it.
Crawford, he's a titled boxer from Nebraska. Warren Buffett, but he white. Okay, you're right. I don't need to talk about Nebraska no more.
Girl, okay. You and your family and Bud's family was the only black families. Okay, well, y'all know we always start the podcast off with the quote of the day. And Natasha, you know this quote because you chose it, but it was when I realized I needed to stop trying to become someone else and be myself that I actually started to own, accept, and love what I had, by Tracy Ellis Ross. Oh my God. I already know why you picked that quote. It's amazing, but tell me what this quote means to you.
It really puts out there like the importance of just being who you are and embracing that. And especially like, you remember middle school and high school, you feel so much pressure from everybody around you to be a certain way, to be this or be that. And if you don't have that self-confidence to be who you are, you're going to suffer until you get it. Yeah. And that's what I did for so much of my life. I suffered. I was, I'm friends with people who aren't really my friends. I'm doing things that I don't even necessarily feel are true to me because, like working a job I don't like because I don't have that confidence. So that quote, and I already love Tracy Ellis Ross. I'm sorry, one time for the big eye girls, love her because I have big eyes too. And that was my representation growing up. Yeah. But that quote really stood out because it's just like, be who you are and find your tribe and people will love you for it. And that's literally what my life has become. And I just, this feeling, you get it because you're a creator too, but this feeling is just unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It is. That resonated so much with me because if y'all can't already tell that Natasha is living and doing exactly what she wants to do, and there are so few people who have the opportunity. First of all, there's so few people who actually even know what it is that drives them or what they want to do or what they love doing. So many people don't even know what they love doing. At the beginning of quarantine, being a comedian, not being able to go out, I said, oh, who do I create content for? Because I can't create content for everybody. And at the end of the day, I create content for Black women. I always say that I create content for Black women. Black women aren't the only people who can enjoy my content. But when I think about who my audience is, it's Black women because that's who I want to relate to me the most out of everybody. So once I drilled in on that, then everything started going in the right direction. And it was just me being comfortable with who I am and what I represent. You know what I mean? So that is an amazing quote. Like, you need to have that sticky note in your on your window right now.
It's because we're not taught that. We're taught to go to school and become workers and not really dive into what makes us happy, but how to serve others. There's very little spotlight put on the importance of serving yourself and then pouring into others based off of that. And like now I'm in this place where I can be so fulfilled that I can pour into others. But before, those petty conversations or when you just being just, okay, there's my dog. When you're having those conversations with people and you're not coming from like this place of love, that shows. It shows with how you carry yourself. It shows with the things that you say. So transitioning from this place of like, I'm not happy with my life to, oh my God, I'm building my dream life. That has really become my mission. And with my brand, that's what I really want to inspire other people to do.
Yes, yes. And that's one thing you'll notice about Tasha's videos too. They're positive. I think that's another reason why people love to follow you is because you're always speaking positivity. So not only do they get to see that you cook this food yourself, they get to see you eat and how good it is and you talk about the flavors and everything. But they also hear a positive message every time they come to your channel or come to your Instagram.
I try to do that because number one, I know that the world needs more positivity. And I am just a naturally optimistic, positive person. Mm-hmm. But then the sad part is that people still think that they should try me. I try to be as transparent. And I'm glad we're even talking about this because I try to be transparent with people that like at the end of the day, I'm still human. Yeah. So like, please don't think that I'm just going to let you disrespect me or act however you want. And that's okay. And that's going to be accepted without me saying anything. Yeah. But like my heart and what I'm trying to encourage the world to be is, we got to look out for just the positive vibes, because we got so many negative ones just being forced down our throat.
Yeah. Nobody should mistake positivity. And let me get something straight too. Girl, I could go in, but the thing about it is, just because I am positive and I attract positivity. But when you come to me with your negative, low self-esteem, like hating, like ugly comments, I will go in on you, and then I will block you.
I love watching you go in on them. I love it, because it's hard, because it's a balance. It really is a balance. You want to be kind and compassionate, and don't get me wrong, sometimes my heart is like, I know that based off of this based off of this comment, you're unhappy with where you are in life. This has nothing to do with me. This all has to do with you. Baby, if you catch me on the wrong day where these hormones is raging, I'm sorry. And I might come back and apologize to you afterwards, but if you caught me at the wrong moment, I'm human. And I really need you to understand that this little invisible window that you're behind that makes you feel safe, you're not safe behind that, because you're carrying that negativity with you through life, and it's going to catch up. Just because I'm not the one that's going to be your karma doesn't mean it's not coming.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not going to apologize. Jasmine won't.
I know you won't. I was hearing your story the other day where you was like, you came all the way over here with your 10,000 followers and commented on my stuff.
You know what I mean? I'm like, girl, if they real, you got 10,000 followers, but you over here worried about me. Engage with your audience. Girl, okay, well, we were talking about, even with the quote with Tracy Ellis Ross, we were talking about being yourself. How did you start having the confidence to be yourself? And by the way, this is random questions, y'all. We just stepped into random questions now. But how did you start having the confidence to be yourself?
It was through Mukbang, because I remember reading, I don't know if it's a fact or not, but I remember reading something where they were talking about how you can't, like, your nervousness goes down while you're chewing. So like, since I'm eating, that's why they tell you, like, when you're about to give a speech or something, to chew gum, because it helps you calm your nerves.
I never heard that.
Like, when I'm eating, I'm at my leisure. I'm happy. I got this food in front of me. I'm just joking. It came naturally with me eating. It was forced and phony when I was trying to do stuff that I wasn't comfortable with. Yeah. So it was beautiful, because eating became this way for me to connect with other people and really show them, like, sides of me that I would be, like, maybe normally not necessarily feel comfortable sharing, opinions. Yeah. Like, even with what I started doing, it was really a self-love journey. It was me learning how to love and accept myself. And through that process, other people got to learn how to love me too. And once you find your tribe, you good. It's when you feel alone, that's when the problems start. But when you find people who can relate to your stuff, who are thankful for you sharing it, because it gives them the confidence to share it, like, that is fulfillment. And yes. I love that feeling.
Yes. I mean, I used to open for Faison Love when the world was open regular. And one thing that he taught me was, like, when you go on stage and when you get in front of a camera, not everybody's going to, like, F with you, period. Like, not everybody's going to rock with you. But the people who really rock with you, those are your people. So don't worry about everybody else. When you find your tribe, that's exactly what that is. You're, like, you attracting your tribe,
Exactly. And see, and the thing about it is, everybody eats. Everybody likes food. Even if you think what I do is weird, which sometimes I even thought it was weird. Like, even if you think it's weird, you still might look at that plate and be like, oh, but that does look good.
Okay. Yes.
You just kind of, and you end up in this place where you can connect with people, because everybody has to eat, no matter what you look like, no matter where you're from. And there's so many flavors out there. Growing up in a Black household, not everybody was getting all kinds of different flavor profiles and stuff. So it's really helped me even learn more about the world. It's helped me learn about different cultures. I tried Indian food and Korean food, burnt my mouth on some Korean hot sauce. But it's like, it's the experience, and I love that.
Okay, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear what Tosh is tired of eating, honey. Okay, let's take a quick break. welcome back to Colored Couch Conversations. If you have not already, I don't know what you're waiting on, go ahead and find ToshPointFro on YouTube, on TikTok, or Instagram. That's ToshPointFro, and follow her, okay? Because you want to see this good food that she's making and eating. Awesome. Well, my next random question is, what food are you tired of seeing, or what are you tired of eating at this point?
King crab that is not covered in hot Cheetos. If it's not covered in hot Cheetos, I don't want it.
Okay, hold on. When you cover it in hot Cheetos, do you fry it?
Air fry.
Oh, you air fry it.
All the fried food on my channel, unless it's like from somewhere else, is air fried. Unless and even a lot of it, for example, if I get fried chicken from like a Chinese restaurant and they do it in oil, it's not gonna be hot by the time you get home. Yeah. So I'll put it in the air fryer and it'll still pull some of that oil off, because I do try to be mindful of my health. Like, this is a job, but my health is my number one priority.
Yes. Okay. So it's air fried. Now, one thing I've never had fried crab in any way, but I would always imagine that if you fry it in any way, it's going to be tough.
No, it's still tender. And that's such a large chunk of meat. Like, it'd be size of a what is those things?
$1? A silver dollar?
Yes, like a silver dollar. There we go. So like with that, there's so much, and you're not cooking it through, because the crab is already in a state where you can eat it. It's just that I'm putting the coating on it and I'm frying up the coating just to make it hot. Yeah. And that one takes 6 minutes, and then you're good.
Wow. But it's really spicy when you eat it with the hot Cheetos on it, right?
It depends. So I can make it spicy. So you don't even get the flavor from the actual hot Cheetos. That's where you're getting a lot of the texture. The color. Yeah, and people love the color. That's really I'm telling you all the tea, girl. So it's that's why you gotta season your flour. So I always go in. I have a recipe on my YouTube channel where I add cayenne or some seasoning, salt, and everything, and that will depict how spicy it's actually going to be.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would be burning my mouth. People assume that I'm like killing myself eating super spicy stuff, but it's not very spicy.
That is so interesting. You're gonna make me try to make some I don't have an air fryer though. I need to get an air fryer.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to shameless plug. I don't have any company endorsing me. That is the one item that we grown now. We collected appliances.
Yes.
I would never regret having my air fryer. And there's like Facebook groups that you can get in that have people making like beignets and banana bread and roasts and sandwiches. People make everything in their air fryer.
Yeah.
So I would say if you are going to look for a next appliance, I'd get an air fryer. But think about when your fries get home from In-N-Out and they soggy. You can make them crunchy again.
I didn't know. I had never thought about putting food in there that's already cooked.
I use it to reheat a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Like baking, I do in my conventional ovens, but my air fryer, girl, if I want that crunch back, I got some onion rings from Sonic the other day. They were so good.
And you are blowing my mind, because it's probably way better for you than the microwave.
Oh, it is. It's going to be better for you, and then you're not you're still preserving the actual texture of the food. That was what's so important to me, because when our food is crunchy, I want it to be crunchy.
Right.
But when you put it in the oven, if you put it in the oven, it might be crunchy.
Yeah.
If you put it in the microwave, it is not going to be crunchy.
Right.
5 minutes in the air fryer will reheat it and still leave that crunchy coating. Your face is hilarious. Yes,
girl. I ain't got nowhere to put it. That's why we don't have no storage in this apartment. I don't have nowhere to put it. That's going to be the first thing I get when we get a house. But I'm like, my mind is blown.
California, I know.
Okay, so you talked about being health conscious. How often do you work out?
I'm moving right now, and this is like, busy season for creators. So I've been slacking, but on an average week, I try to do like 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
I wake up really early, like usually around 5.
Girl.
I'll be in the gym for like 2 to 3 hours. And it's not even, okay, let me just backstory. When I lived here, when I was younger, I really started getting into fitness. And I realized, number one, that was when I realized how much control I had over like my body and myself.
Yeah.
And it also really made me realize how much stress is suppressed from me working out. And so at this point, it's actually just a part of my lifestyle. It's how I manage my stress. It's how I deal with with life. Because if I don't do it, I can actually feel a difference in how I'm behaving and how my stress levels are. So I have to go work out every so often. And I sometimes have to treat it as a reward now because I'm so used to being able to do it. But I have so many other things going on, it's hard to keep up with.
No, that's a real thing. And, to be 100% honest, like I haven't been working out as much during quarantine and since March as I would normally, because I would do yoga 3 or 4 times a week. And
I
now
remember seeing you working out, like on your stories.
Yeah, and now I do it never. And now I really do not feel that great about my physical appearance, even though people are like, oh girl, use it. I don't care. I don't feel great about my physical appearance. And I've said this week that I'm going to get back into it. So I've been working out like every day, and I'm going to work out after this. But girl,
I don't know if you looked at my story within the last 24 hours, but I put up a TikTok of this man showing his body before quarantine and then after quarantine. Girl, it is the funniest TikTok of my life.
I'm going to look at it.
Yes, it's hilarious.
It's rough. It's rough out here.
It is. And I, don't get me wrong, I had that time. I had, with COVID, I went through watching Chloe Ting and doing stuff in my house, and because the gyms are closed. I'm lucky I live in an apartment that does have a gym that's very adequate, and they have everything in there. I walk in there with my little alcohol wipes and clean everything, but I'm going at 5 a.m. because that's when no one's in there.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
Our gym's been closed this whole time. We have a gym in our building.
We're in California, baby. Texas is open. No, be thankful, because I live in Uptown, and without COVID, I was like, oh, it'd be great. I can meet people. I can go out and socialize. With COVID, it's like, why are y'all not home?
Right.
Get out of my neighborhood. I have to walk my dog. So yeah, it's, I'm actually moving to a more suburban area for the next year, and we'll see how it is after this year, but I got to get out of here because it's just too much.
It's too much. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, my next random question is, what city to you that you've been in has the best food?
I'm biased, but I think I would still say San Diego. But I lived there for so long that I got to have all of the different kinds of food. Mm-hmm. But San Diego was where I realized, because, California has so many different people from all over the world.
Yeah.
That you're getting quality Indian food. You're getting quality, Korean or Mexican food. And so that was when I started really getting into different flavor profiles.
Yeah.
And then you start dabbling, California, they trying to fuse everything together. So I got this Asian soul food fusion.
Yes.
So yeah, I would say San Diego really, really showed me some things. But I've also gone to very good places. I was in DC and had some really good places. I've gone to Miami. That was the first time I tried oysters. Oh my God. They're so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, but San Diego, hands down. There's some great food there. Unfortunately, a lot of restaurants are suffering in San Diego right now. A lot.
Yes, you can drive over LA and see places closing down. But California has some really awesome food. For me, it's San Francisco. San Francisco has the best food.
Never been. Oh, I wanted to go so bad. When you lived up there, I was always watching your stories but it's so expensive.
It's expensive to live there. You should go visit and just eat.
I'm down. You got a list of recommendations for me?
I sure do.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Listen, when we can travel again.
Yes. Okay. Well, my last random question is, how do you deal with negative and or weird comments online?
It depends on my mood. So I started doing this thing on my stories. You've seen it, the Tell Me a Secret game.
Yeah.
So I get people people will anonymously submit their secrets, and and I'll respond to them. Well, the other day, the one that got really popular was this guy who was like, I want to just cook for you and kiss your juicy lips. I was like, sir, I do not want that. I do not want that. And I don't know why y'all think that that's flattering. So like in that situation, it was more sassy, but it's just like, sir, stop. Like, this isn't even the place for that. And I get like that, especially in regards to like men making those sexually advances. I don't post that kind of content.
Yeah.
You barely get full body photos of me.
Right.
I'm always covered up.
Yep.
I don't ever post anything sexual. So imagine the girls who do post content that is a little bit more provocative. I can't even imagine what DMs look like.
Right.
So sometimes I ignore it. Sometimes you'll catch me on the wrong day and I will say something sassy right back to you. But a lot of the time I try to, what I've learned and what I try to do, shout out to Gary Vee, is I'll try to make it like turn it on them and make them realize why they came here to say that comment. So like, kind of like how you do, but I might be a little bit nicer than you. I'll just be like, so like, what are you going through? Like, what's wrong, honey? Like, what's wrong? Like, really, do you need a hug? Like, what's going on in your life that made you feel so comfortable saying that to me? And I've literally, I kid you not, I've had people come back to me and say, I'm so sorry. I was having a really bad day. And I just, they'll come back and they'll apologize to you. And I'll call them out on that too. I'll be like, oh, you must be having a bad day.
No, I feel like if men say he wanted to kiss your juicy lips and you say, what's going on in your life that made you, make that. But hold on, if he came back and apologized, he lying. He not taking it. I don't believe him at that point. I'm sorry, I had a bad day, so I just saw your juicy.
These are the comments. The men who make sexual advances, they getting either ignored or me saying, sir, ew. Oh. I'm talking about the little kids who are like, she's ugly. Or why does she chew like that? Or, those little petty comments when I just want to be like, what's wrong? Yeah. Like, why you having a bad day? Yeah. Like, go do something. Because that's how I've always dealt with negativity. Like, I try my best not to say really harsh things because I know what it does to me. It brings my vibration down and it makes me feel guilty. I have a conscience and I be feeling so guilty for talking stuff and I don't want to feel guilty. So every once in a while, something will slide for sure. But for the most part, it's usually just me turning it around on you and making you look at yourself and ask yourself, well, why did I? And if I can get you there, I do still feel like I kind of won because it's like, you need to be conscious. We're not taught that. We're not taught to be conscious of how we treat people as a reflection of what we think of ourselves. Yeah. And it really says a lot about you when you're going out of your way to go over to somebody else's content to say something negative. Right. And if you get more popular, this is the lesson. Because of my platform and like my level of popularity, I get more backlash for acting like that. So I know how it feels now if I was to go to some Real Housewives something and go, you so wrong for saying that. I know how that feels because I've had people do it to me. And I know that it does get seen, but I think like your followers they say it, but they don't say it thinking that you're actually going to see it and respond. So then when you do see it and respond, they'll run and hide in their little, oh no, well, why are you being so mean to me? No, you came over here with that energy. Don't be mad that I'm reciprocating. No, that's just not how it goes. You have to be responsible for your actions. Yeah. That's all right.
With your content, I think, it's much easier because it's just easy to be nice. As a comedian, people applaud me when I'm rude. People be like, yes, girl, go in.
I applaud you when you're rude, okay? I'm still human. I be, get them, Jasmine. She shouldn't have came over here. Exactly. No, that's just how it is. And that is the fun thing I think about comedy, and that's why I can enjoy comedians' content so much because y'all are saying the things that we can't say. Exactly. Y'all are saying how we feel that we, and now that like TikTok is really, comedy is taking a whole nother turn because of TikTok. And I'm so happy that you're on that platform for that reason alone, because y'all are able to give us little clips of just the realest feelings that we can't say because we're trying to, move through society and not be Mm.
Yeah. And also trying to be positive. Like I try to be as positive as I can. And even in my shady comments, I think I'm still not going in the way I could be, because sometimes I click on people's, one of my videos was posted on the Shade Room, and I had so many people come to my page to tell me, oh, you're a clown, all kinds of stuff. All types of stuff. And I could click on your page and see your child and say, oh, your child, look at your I know you ain't your baby daddy a clown. I could tell because you guys made a clown baby. I could say that. But, I don't go there with you, even though I could. I just say, girl, you came all the way over here.
No, because I notice the balance that you hold, because you don't get personal.
Yeah.
You never personally insult them.
Yeah.
But you do let them know that you tried it and you should try again somewhere else.
Exactly.
Same place. But no, you're still respectful.
I try to be.
Girl, I look at these people. Sometimes that's my saving grace. Like, you might think that I'm being nice, but really I'm judging your profile and I'm looking at how roguish you looking at you. And I'm just like, well, you know what? I'm not going to go in on you because I already see what you over there doing. And I'm just going to focus on myself.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Y'all, this is getting really good. Okay. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about popular YouTube couple, some of our favorite girls, and being a Black mukbanger. I think I'm saying mukbang wrong, but we're going to get it together when we come back. Welcome back to Colored Couch Conversations. If y'all haven't already, go ahead and follow ToshPointFro on all of the platforms. We are stepping into trending topics, okay? Now, Tosh. A popular YouTube couple, Dara and Ken, were trending because we saw Ken in the parking lot touching another woman's booty, honey. Everybody loves Dara and Ken on all social media, YouTube and everything. And this made me think about, my own relationship and even you having an even larger platform. Would you ever take a relationship public with such a large platform?
I actually had to make that decision because I was in a relationship when this started. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot when that happened. I learned a lot. And it has its upsides. It has its downsides. At this point, I will not unless I have a ring. So if you are my fiance, then yes, I am okay with introducing you to the world as my fiance, because that means you have intentions for me. Yeah. However, any dating situation, no one will ever know, ever. I actually am very private about my dating life regardless. And I don't like those loose lips. Like, it doesn't need to be, you know what I mean? And not like in a secretive way of, oh, I'm hiding you. I'm not hiding you, but as far as this goes, my brand, my company, you're not in that. But yeah, baby, we can walk down the street and hold hands.
Exactly. It's your brand.
I'm going. Exactly. And it's mine. And that's really, especially like, you purposely talk to Black women. It's so important for us as Black women to have something that is just ours and invest time into something that is just ours. Think about like how much better is your marriage because you have what you're doing, he has what he's doing, and y'all come together and y'all are still powering each other on. So like, this is mine. And if you think you're going to come over here and get boosted off of my content and my hard work, no, absolutely not, sir. And not that that's men's intentions or anything. It's just, I don't want the public in that aspect of my life until I know that it's going to be permanent.
Yes. And even then, as I'm starting to grow as a creator, as a comedian, I've decided I'm never going to show my husband online again. And you might get a glimpse of him maybe on my Instagram story, but you're never going to see him ever again on my social media. And it's because, number one, my page ain't about that. Mm-hmm. My page is about me creating my content. Number two, this is my brand. He is separate. He's my husband. This is business. This is work.
You don't go to work with him. You don't go to
Period.
work with him.
Period. One question I have is, we see this on the Real Housewives a lot, is that when people get on reality TV, and I think it's when one person has a lot of fame, or not fame, but, has a lot of popularity too, it sometimes can put a strain on relationships. Would you say that your popularity is maybe one of the reasons that put a strain on your own relationship in the past? Or even more recent relationships that you've had? Do you think that maybe they didn't necessarily work because of your popularity online?
No, I actually would not say that.
Okay.
The guy that I was dating when I grew my platform, he was actually very supportive of me growing my platform. I wasn't in the mental space to be able to navigate that and him.
Yeah.
Just because that's another conversation in its own.
Yes.
But when, for example, we traveled a lot together, and he was always there to make sure that if somebody recognized me, he was supportive of them recognizing me in the airport. He would film it, or he would take pictures. He was very supportive in that aspect.
Okay, great.
And then in recent relationships, they haven't been relationships. I have dated a little bit since the pandemic started. It's just, girl, because they glorify you. And that's what I've come across. I've come across men that they want to idolize it, and they're like, ooh, and those ones kind of scare me, because I'm just a normal person, and I don't feel any different than I did when I had one follower. So please don't treat me any different. Yes. But then you have the other extreme of people who don't even care. When there was a guy that he's like, oh, I like you. He wants to date, but I told him I hit 1 million, and he was like, oh, okay.
No, that's his low self-esteem.
We don't talk anymore.
That's his low self-esteem.
I don't know what it is, but it's not in my life anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, girl. Yeah.
So it's a range. I think, and I have a mentor she is everything to me. She has really helped me with just building my confidence and being comfortable with myself and being comfortable alone, because that was something that I really had to learn. And what I've learned from just those experiences is that right now is my time to invest in me. Until the right one comes, everything that I do needs to be for me and my audience. And then the next one, when the right one comes, I'll know, because he'll see what I'm doing, and he knows that he either has to add to that or keep it pushing. So I'm right, girl. So it's that's where I am now. But it's interesting. I was literally having this conversation with my mentor last night. That realizing that you're everything, realizing that everything you need is already inside you. Period. Everything else, it's you might be looking for that, but you don't need it. And when you realize that, it's such a beautiful feeling. And I'm in that transition right now where I have people that I have lost that I miss, and I'm praying for them, and I hope that they're doing well. But I know that they cannot be in my life anymore, because we have outgrown each other, and the lessons that I was supposed to learn, I've learned them, and now I got to keep it pushing. That was Mr. 1 million. Thank you, sir. You taught me that I should not be trying to pour into you, because you're not pouring into me. So we keep it pushing. Yes. It's a good lesson.
If y'all ain't hearing the gems that's being dropped right now, I don't know what to tell you. I don't. Oh my goodness. Okay. So for the next trending topic, and you know what? Let me backtrack. I shouldn't even have to comment on nothing she just said, because if y'all didn't pick up those gems,
those are the hard lessons. But see, that's what I really try to do on my platform. I talk to my audience like I'm talking to you. We just sitting here having a conversation, and I'm telling them about my life experiences and stuff, because it sucks and it's hard, but I learned it, and I had to learn it the hard way. So you can learn it the hard way too if you want to, but let me just tell you real quick that even if you don't know how to get there, this is still where you want to be. You want to be in the self-fulfilled, I don't need anybody, but if somebody good comes along, then hey, I'm going to love them just like they need to be loved. But it gets tricky, and we're just trying to make it.
We're just trying to make it. But those tools, we are making it. And those tools, are so valuable, and a lot of people don't learn those until much later, even though, at our young age, it's still, to me, late to learn these tools, because one day when I have kids, I'm going to teach them this, so they know this when they're 10 or 11. So imagine being able to have those tools that young.
Yeah, exactly. And those, you can recognize those people. Those people who, when we were really young, already had that level of self-confidence and didn't really need that fulfillment from other people. You can see who they are now, and they're always very successful.
Yes.
They learned early to not care about what this person thinks, because in 3 years, we ain't even gonna be in the same school.
Exactly.
It's interesting, especially when you look, because girl, you look back at some of the friendships that you used to have, and you I've ran into so many people from middle school living in Uptown. Girl, I've seen so many people that we knew. And
I'm sure you have.
like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that you're here. And not even in like a, what are you doing? What am I doing? It's just like, wow, I remember where I was the last time I saw you.
Yes.
I was just a little scrawny little girl in middle school walking to third period. And now we're grown and we've done so many things in our lives, and like, wow, the growth is real.
Yes. And one other thing that I want to say that is so true, that I've learned and that I continue to learn, is you don't see yourself the way that other people see you. Because me and Natasha in school were very skinny. We both were very skinny, but she was much taller than me. But I remember looking at her and be like, wow, she's so beautiful. Her hair is so long. Her skin is... Never would have thought it. Never would have thought it. Like, I was like, oh, she's so beautiful. She's thin. She could be a model. Her hair was so long. Her skin was so clear, everything. And I didn't feel that good about myself. I'm like, oh, I'm not as tall as her. I wanted to be tall. The women in my family were tall, are tall. And just all of these things. But it's just a reminder that other people see you or give you so much more grace than you give yourself as well.
Yeah, because I can say the exact same thing about you. Like, I always thought you were so pretty, and I always thought that you were always very understanding and kind. I remember listening to a conversation. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
But I overheard a conversation that you had with somebody. Remember when we would get to school early and we would have to line up in the gym and we would just sit in line?
Yeah.
And you were behind me, and somebody said something smart about like somebody that was sitting around us. Yeah. And you were like, well, maybe this or this. And you were just being like a compassionate person. And I remember, like, those moments stand out. You don't forget people's, like, the energy that people leave you with.
Yeah.
And like, no, same girl, same. Because I was just like, oh, Jasmine's always so nice. And she's always smiling. Like, you were always kind. Always kind.
Wow.
Well, around me. I don't know who you were talking to. You was nice around me, girl. That was all I was worried about.
I think I was pretty nice. Out loud, in my head, I might have been shady.
Hey, that's okay. We all a little shady in our head.
Okay. Okay, well, my next random question is, I wanted to call out some girls. So Janae Aiko, Kailani, Tayana Taylor, and Summer Walker were on the cover of, I forgot one of these magazines, honey, but they were talking about R&B Renaissance, and they were being honest about their lyrics, and they were talking about industry roadblocks as Black women. So I love all of these girls. I wanted to know if there's anyone that you feel like should have been added to this quad that you listen to, or maybe like a young Black woman, that wasn't included, but you feel like you really relate to their music and they're kind of a new artist.
And okay, so the one that came, because I was about to look at my iTunes, but I'm not about to go through all that. The one that comes to mind first, I don't know if you've heard her. She lives in LA now, but she actually was based out of Dallas. Her name is Paige.
I've never heard of her.
So I, a year ago when I moved here, I was very sad when I moved here. I was going through a lot of things and a lot of emotional growth.
Yeah.
And she has this album out, and one of the songs is called A Break from Dallas. And she says, I just need a break from Dallas. And that was how I felt about San Diego. I needed a break from San Diego. I needed to be away from that city. And that really resonated with me. And I remember sitting on the counter in my bathroom, and I was just like crying listening to her.
Oh,
So I DM'd her. That's a good thing about when you do kind of get a little bit of a following. Sometimes people will see you.
yes.
So I DM'd her and I was like, girl, your album is so good. And I'm listening to it right now. I just moved to Dallas and like, this is beautiful. And she DM'd me back. And she was like, your food be looking good. like I kid you not. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not talking like every day or anything. That girl is popular. But she actually DM'd me the other day and she was like, hey, I hope you're doing well. She's just a very sweet young lady. She's authentically herself. And like she'll tell you, she wants to be the female future. She is a girl. But just being around her energy is beautiful because I feel like she has such an old soul. Yeah. And I know that I would put her definitely in that running. She's done songs with Six Flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a
Black.
remix.
Is it Black?
Yeah, I never know. And I think he even corrected me in a song and I still forgot. Six Flag or Black, whatever. She did a remix with him. And I actually had the pleasure of doing a mukbang with her before she moved to LA. So there is a mukbang of she. It's not even the popular one. You know, people like the hot Cheeto king crab. But we were eating some spicy fish from this African restaurant called Aggie's in Dallas. And yeah, she's going somewhere. She told me she met Beyonce. I was like, Beyonce?
Okay. Beyonce,
girl, you going places.
And her name is Paige.
Mm-hmm. I think it's Cash with a K. KASHPAIGE. She's a very sweet girl and her voice is beautiful.
She has her look her up.
She could Drake it a little bit because she's singing, but I don't know. It's just the way that she makes her music. It's really beautiful.
I'm about to listen to her on my run, girl, right now.
You've heard her before. You just don't know that you've heard her. I promise you've heard her.
I be listening to the same stuff over and over. You'd be surprised. I be listening to Brandy every day. I be listening to her.
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Oh good.
Her is like her new song Damage.
I saw her at Coachella. Girl. I saw her at Coachella and it was just like you could tell she was a new artist because her team wasn't as polished as they should have been. I think she was a little late. But it wasn't for her. It wasn't her fault. It was like they were trying to get things organized. But when I tell you that girl gave a performance that I don't care about your team, girl, give the girl a mic. We don't need anything else.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Girl, I saw her at the Rose Bowl. She opened up for Lauryn Hill. She was better than she was better than Lauryn. Sorry. She was better than Lauryn. Hate to break it to you girls.
On time?
She was. She was on time. She was on time. Lauryn was a little late, but she was not as late as she usually is. Okay, so my last topic for you on the trending topics, my last really sort of question is, do you face challenges as a Black mukbanger, or is it an advantage to you being a woman of color in this space? And is it, how do you say it?
Mukbang.
Okay, cool. So, is it more of a challenge or more of an advantage?
I think that in society, being white has its advantages. Like there's no going around it. I've seen women who eat and they're white and they just blow up and they're, and I don't know why it is, whatever. I don't try to focus on what other people are doing. Yeah. However, I wouldn't say it's necessarily an advantage or a disadvantage. Mm-hmm. Really, it's just, like I said, kind of finding your tribe. So people can relate to me and you might not necessarily get, like most of my following is young Black women or young Black children. Yeah. And when I, how can I say this? When I'm making my content, like you said, I'm making my content for them. I want to be relatable to them, but I also want to teach them the lessons that I had a hard time learning. Yeah. But the community itself definitely, so I had an advantage. Let me just be very clear. Just like, Raven Elise and all these other influencers, they had advantages. They got into the game on YouTube at the right time. Because that's what a lot has to do with your timing, the niche that you're in, and the level of dedication that you're going to put into your content. I got into mukbang before mukbang really took off, especially before it took off in the Black community. So it was B Love, who was another huge mukbanger, but she was the only Black one that I knew of. And it was really just timing. So I wouldn't say that it's an advantage or a disadvantage. It's just the situation that I'm in. Because as a Black mukbanger now, if you don't come out with something that's unique or that's going to be like eye-catching, it's not going to matter. You're going to struggle a little bit harder to get your following up. But there are people like the Baddie twins, who are these two Jamaican twins who are they just talk mess and eat their food, and like it's just fun, and it's comedy. They'll dress up. It's fun. They blew up quick. Like there's another there's a family called Beast Mode is the husband, and then there's Queen Beast. She's the wife. He stopped doing mukbang, but he immediately blew up just because he was making like really cheesy food, really good looking food. And then he had some health issues, so he stopped doing as much mukbang and his wife started doing more mukbang with their kids. So they are, you think I got a following. They're millions strong. But I've been able to, and I don't know if it's because of, me being nice or how I look or whatever, but I have been blessed to be very marketable. So I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of companies that see that and allow me to grow my platform on different, like in different areas. Because even with, what I've noticed is that I'm very lucky to have such a strong following on the platforms that I do, because not everybody does. TikTok, I don't know, I'm not trying to sound cocky, y'all, but I don't know any mukbangers that have a bigger following than me on TikTok. But if there are some, hey, let's be friends. Instagram, I still have a solid following on Instagram, and I still have a solid following on YouTube. And that in itself is not something that you necessarily see consistently unless it is somebody huge like B Love.
And and when I think about success and hardship, I think of at this level, I think about like brand partnerships, and stuff like that. I know for me in particular, it's more difficult to get brand partnerships because I'm controversial, I'm controversial. So, but that's one risk that I'm willing to take to be myself, and sometimes, sticking with being yourself, like we talked back to Tracy Ellis Ross's quote, it doesn't pay off right away, but it does. The longevity is much easier because you're yourself the whole time,
Exactly. And you're going to get those, what I've learned is that you're going to get those brand deals that want you to just perform. You're going to get people that just want you to do it. And you have to make the conscious decision. Am I going to be a person that just does this for the money? Or am I going to be a person that dedicates what I do to a larger purpose and takes the right things? And I have always done my best to make sure that I'm taking only deals and working with companies that have foundations that I can believe in. And if they're not, then they get ignored. There's been, and I'm not even quiet about it. I will talk about the companies because I see that they don't value us or that they don't. And I'll get in those comments and say, well, I won't say, oh, don't work with them. They don't, but I will say, they offered me that and I didn't want it because they didn't want to pay me properly. And they're just distributing their product in the masses and trying to paint it like, oh, well, we just want you to do this. Just is advertising. Just have to be paid. And as Black people, we have to start demanding more, because you see people like that chick, Charlie D'Amelio, I think her name is. She just hit 100 million people on TikTok. She's the #1 TikToker in the world. She's getting paid probably over $60,000 for one 30-second video. No, I'm not going to compromise what I want and who I am for this money. But at the same time, I'm also not going to just take whatever is thrown out at me. Does that make sense? Like
100%.
People are handing to me, but at the same time, like, I see what y'all are doing for these other influencers. Who are not color. And we're not going to act like because they're not of color, you know, Black Lives Matter revamped and now everybody's feed is a little bit more diverse. But if you go back about 6 months, or it's been 6 months, if you go back a year, you're seeing the same pale faces over and over and over again.
100%.
It's like, y'all aren't doing it, then I don't want to work with you. And I'm not going to be your token.
Listen, I say this all the time to my husband. I'm like, I'm not a teenager. This is my business. This is my brand. This is what I've decided to do with my life. You're not about to pay me $100 to get on here and do nothing. I'm sorry. You're not. Because I'm not a teenager. You might be able to book a teenager for that in high school making cute, funny videos. But no, this is my brand. You're not going to be able to do it for me. I'm sorry, babe.
Oh, no. And that's the thing that if honey, especially influencers, if y'all are listening, please get your money, especially right now because it is the holiday season. I have worked with brands who initially offered me like $1,000 and I've negotiated it up to like 7 or 8.
Yep.
So like, don't ever take that first offer. You have to be willing to lose, and it does suck because sometimes, honey, I will send that risky email saying, well, how about this? Knowing I don't think not even truly believing in my heart that they were going to give me that amount of money.
Yeah.
I'll send it and I'll leave. But then 10, 20 minutes later, if they don't match what I want, they'll come just a little bit under it.
Yeah.
So it's worth it. It's so worth it.
It's also rare that you lose. They're going to come back and negotiate with you.
Because they want you.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Lessons. Message.
Yeah, amen. Message.
All right, y'all. Well, we are stepping into the Keep It Real corner right now. Y'all know at the end of every episode, we give advice in what I like to call the Keep It Real corner. This one is actually really from not from YouTube, but from TikTok. Somebody asked me this. They said, I want to start a YouTube channel and I don't know where to start. What advice do you have for me? What one piece of advice do you have for them?
One. Okay. My best piece of advice is to start where you are with what you have. So many people want to create these videos like the same quality as people who have been doing it for years, and that's not realistic. Realistically, you should start with your phone. You should get a tripod. You should start, write out your concept and just do it. Don't think about it, because if you overthink it, you're not going to do it, or it's going to go a lot slower. But the best thing you can do is just decide what you're going to do, use what you have, and go for it. Yeah. And after that, the lessons that you learn from starting at the bottom are going to save you down the road. There have been times where my camera wasn't working. There have been times where my mic wasn't working. But guess what? Since I used to use this other mic, I'm just going to use that real quick.
Yep.
Since I used to use my phone, I'll just use that. It's not going to stop. My food is getting cold. I got to hurry up.
Yes.
That kind of thing happens to you. But the lessons that you're going to learn from the hard days are worth like everything that you get at the end. But people don't typically want to do that. They want it to look perfect. They want their lighting to be great. And that's just not realistic. You have to start at the bottom and practice and get better. Because if you go look at my first videos, girl, they was bad. They were bad. But people still watch them.
Yeah, but you know what? The quality, just like a TV show, when you go back to episode 1 of any TV show, it looks trash. And then the quality is supposed to get better. That's the way that it's supposed to work.
Yeah. People want the hard days. I had one young lady, she wrote me and she wrote a comment and she was like, will you be my mentor? I just need help on how to start. Baby, if you can't start on your own, I don't know what to tell you, baby. I'm sorry. I'm here to help everybody get to the next level. But what we do, how I learned how to make YouTube videos, I YouTubed how to make YouTube videos. That's what I did. I researched it and I watched videos from people teaching me how. So it's like that level of commitment that you get and acknowledge from when you do it on your own, that is what's going to be your saving grace, because I'm not always going to be there to motivate you. So if you can't start on your own, baby, you might want to pick something else. This ain't it for you. It's not.
Period.
It's not, girl. And burnout is real. I don't know if you've ever gone through burnout.
Yeah.
But I've gone through burnout where I'm just like, I ain't making nothing.
Yep.
I want to eat by myself in private in my drawers. Like that is real. And if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, a lot of people want to, I'm going to do mukbang. All I got to do is eat and then I can get rich. It's not that easy. There's a lot of, you can't see all this camera equipment and all this stuff set up, but like there's a lot of back end work. Editing is terrible. Okay?
Yeah. All right, y'all, we're coming to the end of the episode. Natasha, I really want to know, what do you have coming up? What can you tell us about what you're working on? We want to keep up with you.
So I have some things that I'm working on, but I'm not really ready to talk about all of them. I am working on some merch. So I like to have merchandise. Actually, I had a company reach out to me yesterday. So we're going to start discussing different things that I can put out for people to purchase, like merchandise-wise. I have a lot of, it's the holiday season, so thank you God, I'm getting brand deals. Deals I actually want. So I've been working on some stuff with Kroger. I can say it because I'm posting today. So I've had a couple of deals with Kroger that I'm about to start promoting for the holiday season. And isn't there another one? Oh, and I have something coming up with Hidden Valley Ranch that I'm really excited about.
And we love ranch.
Amen, girl. We love ranch. Ranch on everything. So I'm excited. But I really enjoyed this. And if I ever am if you get an air fryer, because I can't take one on the plane now. If you get an air fryer, girl, we can do a mukbang. I'll come to LA, make you some hot Cheeto king crab.
Girl, listen, as soon as we get a house and I get my air fryer, you will be one of the very first guests I have over.
Thank you. I'll bring wine. Wait, do you drink wine?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'll bring some wine.
And we can do a mukbang. I would love to.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, girl. Oh my gosh. This has been great. Okay, y'all, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on the platform you're listening on right now. And if you loved Colored Couch Conversations, make sure to tell someone about the show, okay? Do not be selfish. You can follow us on Instagram at Colored Couch Conversations. And you can watch the show on my YouTube channel. That's comedian Jasmine W on YouTube, spelled JAZMYN, thanks to my dad. And thanks to ToshPointFro for being on the show. That rhymes. Bye.
Bye.